Hey guys, we're going to be doing a tutorial on adding music in SSF2 v09b. This is from the main timeline of the Smashville page DAT, which is DAT 63 in SSF2 v09b. So I'm assuming you're able to modify SSF2 DAT files in Adobe Flash, and if you don't, quick rundown is in JPEG you export to FLA. And then you have an FLA file, and if you have Adobe Flash CS3 or higher, you should be able to do it. But when you're exporting in JPEGs, just choose the version that you have. Actually, if you don't have CS3, then you're kind of screwed. I mean, if you only have CS3, my apologies, you're kind of screwed. Anyways, let's continue. So in Adobe Flash, which I won't be showing right now, you should have added the music to your library, and then you should have right-clicked on it and went into properties and then got into advanced and gave it a check that basically says something about action scripts, and it asks you to give it a name, and that name is what we're concerned with. And for example, one of the class names I gave was AC1, and I gave a lot of class names. So for those class names, you're going to want to, in the first part, declare them as variables. So it's pretty straightforward. You're declaring a public variable based on the class name you assigned in the library, and it's a class. And as you can see, it's in this section of the main timeline where you add the public variables. So I added a ton of them, and you'll see why. And let's continue. Okay, so this part, basically, it's an optional thing to do. It's basically to keep structure. I actually did this backwards, but what you want to ideally do is if you have a really long class name, like main timeline AC1, you can also refer to it as AC1. And that's what they did in the original main timeline before I modified it. But I kind of stuck to the structure, but I did it backwards. As a matter of fact, I don't really need any of this. But if you chose to make your class names really long, you could use this to shorten them. And as you can see, it's pretty simple. I don't think I need to explain it more than that. Okay, now let's get to the good stuff. So we're scrolling all the way down to function frame 1, and that's where all the interesting stuff occurs. So let's go over it. Okay, so everything from this point on, let's see, from line 85 to line 144, I added new stuff. And if you're curious, this program I'm using is called Flash Develop. It's just a really nice ActionScript 3 editor. It's purely for just doing ActionScript 3. I don't use it to actually modify a game, other than doing the code. Anyways, let's start. So the first thing I did was declare two date variables, time of day and time of day 2. Basically, what I'm doing in this for Smashville is that based on the time of day, a certain music plays. And to do that, you have to declare a date variable. So the reason why there's two date variables is because this one is specifically for Saturday nights when KK Ryder plays his music. So there's specific songs that play just on Saturday nights. Now what I did was I created 1, 2, 3, 4 arrays. So the arrays, let's look at this first one. This array is called KK Music, and it has KK1, KK2, and KK3. And of course that's based on the public variables here. Took the names and we put them in the array. So what this does is we're going to later call this array, and it's either going to play either one of these 3 songs on Saturday night. And basically it's a similar situation for all of these. These items, songs, they'll be playing during the day. These will play in the afternoon, and these will play at night. Now, the actual names of the arrays, you can name them whatever you want. Make sure you keep track of what names you're using. Now, if you're not concerned with any of this time of day stuff, and you just want to do it where no matter what time it is, it just randomizes between a certain set of songs, I'll get to that. Okay, so after we declared the date variables and the arrays, we're gonna sort them. Okay, I actually missed this, I'm sorry. So if you scroll a bit up, where did I put it? Ah, okay. There's this public function called random sort, and this is very important because it does the randomization. I'm just gonna fix the formatting. Actually, this isn't proper formatting, but I'll still make it look somewhat neat. Okay. Doesn't matter the formatting, I'm just doing this to make it look nice. Okay. So all this does is we use this to do randomization. So it's a simple copy paste of this whole function. So make sure you have that. Okay. And what we're doing right here is we're telling these arrays, we're calling out the array like day music for instance, and we're calling out this function random sort. And basically what that does is it sorts the items in the array. So, oh, my battery. So in this case we have 4 items in this specific order, and what it does is randomizes the order. And then after you do that, for all the arrays that you made, you want to trace the first item in the array. And because you randomized it, the first item will not necessarily be the same thing you see here, because it's randomized. And so in this case, I traced out all of the first items in the array after they were sorted. So you can see I did a pretty big trace statement. So as you can see, this is come on. This is KK Music. KK Music array was sorted using the random sort function, and we chose the first item in the array. Now, as you can see, we also I also added this, and this is for sorry, KK Writer on Saturday night, specifically for the KK Music array. So what this does is we are using the time of day, the name for the date variable, and we're tracing what the day is, we're tracing what the hour is, and we're also doing that specifically for I'm sorry, excuse me, we're doing it for both variables. So I'm not sure why I did that. I am sorry. I think I only needed to do that for yeah, I only needed to do that for whatchamacallit, the one that involves KK Music. I might have added some extra stuff here. I'm sorry, I haven't looked at this file in quite a while. So let me just remove any of the extraneous stuff that you don't need. And I believe it's all of that. Oh no, we use time of day 2.day, and we use time of day 2.hours. Okay, so we don't need to trace time of day hours. So let's get rid of these two. My fault. Okay. Looks like my cursor went away. Okay. Also, a nice thing about Flash Develop is when you hover over something, it gives you some details. So that's a good thing. That's why I like Flash Develop. Okay, so now let's go into here. This whole big blob is a switch statement. And a switch statement is where we're going to have declare certain instances equal certain things. Okay, so the first switch statement, there's actually 2 switch statements. Oh no, there's a switch statement and then there's an if statement. So let's go over the switch statement. So the switch statement deals with time of day hours. So this is the time of date variable, and we're referring to the hour specifically. So these cases, case 20, 21, 22, that refers to military time hours. So maybe you guys are starting to get it. So what I did was for all these hours, hour 20, hour 21, hour 22, basically all throughout the night, this dot stage music equals night music 1. Now this dot stage music is what is originally used to call the music. So if you were to look at the original main timeline, of Smashville, it would just say this dot stage music equals whatever one song they picked. And what we did was we did this dot stage music equals night music 1. So that refers to the first variable in this first item in this array, which contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs. So it'll pick the first item of whatever happened after the randomization, and then it will play that song. And that's pretty much it. And as you can see, I did different songs will play depending on the hour. SS, if you're curious, was for shooting stars. It would play at these very late hours of night. Yeah, it's kind of funny. And also this, if you're just choosing one song, then it would just be like that, and that's literally how the original code was like. Now also note when I'm doing the switch statements, after each case, like in this case, these hours play this music, you want to add a break, just that line, and then you want to continue on with different hours, if you're actually going so far to doing this. Okay, so with all that being said, let's talk about this if statement quickly. So this if statement, so time of day to dot day. So what that basically is I declared another date variable called time of day 2, and then I traced what the actual day is. So it would trace, in this case, when I'm recording this video, it's Friday. So it would trace the day being 5. And if the day equaled 6, equals, it has to be 2 equal signs in coding. Because equals means it's actually checking what day it is. So it's checking if it's actually 6, which would mean Saturday. So if it was Saturday, during these specific hours, this is another switch statement in here, it would play KK music, which is another array that you saw earlier. So note how this was set up. So the if statement has, the condition is in the parentheses, and then what happens is in the brackets. So keep that in mind. So the switch statement is inside the brackets. Now, I'm not sure what this extra... Oh, okay. The brackets, this is the opening and closing bracket. And then that one, see how it's highlighted blue? So that one refers to... I don't actually see what it refers to. I'm not sure, but... Oh! Silly me. I have it so far in that I can't even tell what I'm referring to. So... There's multiple brackets here. So this bracket, closing bracket, refers to this opening bracket. The opening bracket refers to the other closing bracket. Okay. Now let's say, oh, Wex, this was a lot. I don't care about what time of day it is. I just want to have a bunch of songs and just randomly pick from those 4 songs, whatever. Okay, so let me just cut this down totally. So you don't care about days, right? So let me just delete that. Why don't I keep one of these arrays? So I'll just keep night music. So let me delete that. Now you need to sort the night music array. So let me delete every single one of these sort statements except night music. And I'll delete KK music as well. And then all you want to do is trace night music on the first one. So there you go. And get rid of that. So all we need to do is trace night music. And then finally, I'm just going to take this statement out. Control X, Control V, and whoa, just like that, we can get rid of this switch statement now, and the if statements, and that's all you need. And in this case, it doesn't really matter what the name is, but it'll play one of these 5 songs no matter what time it is. And I believe in v09b you have to restart your game each time for it to play a different song. That's the limitation of this, because we're doing it inside a DAT file, not in the game engine itself. You'd have to totally, you'd have to add code to the game engine, which I'm not going to discuss here. I never actually decided to get into it. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Like I said, I was playing music from Harmony of Heroes. You guys should check that out if you like Harmony of Heroes. It's a pretty album made by Dance. I hope this tutorial helped you out. What I was talking about here basically applies to any stage file. And yeah, I'll see you guys around, and I hope this helped you.